Hey, what is up everyone, this is PvT-Mitten's and I'm going to be doing a Wii collection video. I did do one about an hour ago, but it started lagging towards the end because fucking Sony's shitty fucking SHAREfactory. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut it up, so if you see skips, not skips but like edited, it's because I've paused it to sort of like ease it up kind of thing. So yeah. Sorry I haven't done a video in a couple of days, it's just that when someone comes around uninvited, yeah, it's pretty hard to do a video. So, I'm going to do my Wii collection. There is some games missing which I will explain, but I'll do that at the end. So let's get started. The biggest box I have is the Mario Kart Wii. This is the one that has the steering wheel, plus the game. I honestly believe this is the probably the best modern Mario Kart we've gotten, as in like after, 64 kind of thing. I believe this is better than the Wii U version, and I believe this is better than the GameCube Mario Kart. Not as good as the 64 and Super Nintendo, but I still believe this is a great Mario Kart nonetheless. Must own for the Wii as well, by the way. I actually made this video because a couple friends of mine asked me what games I have, and also Devil wants to know what I have, so I thought I'll do a video instead. So yeah, these are all in different order, by the way, so just be warned. So Raven Rabbids Travel in Time, haven't played it. I've heard it's pretty decent, but we'll see. Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World. I haven't played it. I believe this is also on PS3 in the collection. I haven't played it, so we'll see. Some of these I have, some you haven't seen before, and some I haven't played, of course. Dragon Blade, Wrath of Fire, haven't played it, so yeah. Let's Tap, I haven't played it, so yeah. Doesn't look good when I've only said one game of the all so far that I've played. So we have Rayman Origins. Must have for any system it's on. It's one of the best platformers of all time. Must have for the system, definitely. Sam & Max Season 1. I haven't played it. I believe this is a Telltale's game. So, yeah. Endless Ocean, haven't played. I've heard good things though. Raven Rabbids, the original. Fucking love this game. Still have my data for it. I think it's one of the best games of all time. I really do. It's that good. Must have for any system it's on. Because I also have the PS2 version. Another game that I have played, Raven Rabbids 2, must own for the system as well. Absolutely fantastic. This is just as good as the first game. Resident Evil 4. I honestly believe this is the best version of Resident Evil 4. I know a lot of people do not agree with that. I honestly still believe this plays the best out of all the Resident Evil 4s. Must have for the system, definitely. But everyone's played Resident Evil 4 at this point. I mean, it's on every fucking system, more or less. Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the Wii. Quite impressive they got this on the Wii, and it looks better than Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii, which I find very surprising. Utterly fantastic on the Wii. I don't think it's a must-own though, because you can get the other, the PS3 360 version for next to nothing. But it's worth seeing what it's like on the Wii and seeing that the Wii could do stuff like this, so it's worth seeing that for at least. House of the Dead 2 and 3, fucking great. I love House of the Dead 2, and 3's really good. I still think the best in the series is one that you will see later on in this video, but yeah, really happy with that. It's a bit of a shame 1 wasn't put in with it. I'm surprised it wasn't, considering it was a Saturn game that could easily be fit on this. But utterly fantastic, must own for the system. A game that no one mentions for the system, which I find very surprising, that is Battalion Wars 2. A really good game. I'm surprised we haven't got the third one. It's a third-person strategy style game. I really enjoyed this when I played it back in the day. Really good game. Really good looking game too for the Wii. It's actually probably one of the better looking games for the system. I highly recommend checking this one out for the system. Definitely a must-have. So we have Beat the Beat Rhythm Paradise. This is a essentially WarioWare game. Must-have. It's really funny. Definitely a must-have for the system. Reload. I haven't played it yet, but it actually looks not bad. It honestly doesn't look all that bad. So I will give this a shot when I get the chance. Last two games we have for this pile anyway. Speed. This is that Formula 1 game with like the fucking cars in the background exploding like fucking crazy. I haven't played it. Looks pretty cool though. Not very big on Formula 1 though, so I enjoyed the games though, but don't watch the actual sport. So we have Wheel Spin. This is that Bethesda game. I haven't played it. Don't know what it's like. Who knows? I'll pause the video and do the next set. See you in a sec, guys. And we're back. Continuing on, we have No More Heroes. Must have for the system. One of the best games on the system. Thoroughly enjoyed this game. I do not have the sequel. The sequel is very hard to get and it's very expensive. But I've heard it's better than this. I am intrigued. I do want to play the sequel. Must have. Excuse me. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. This is a puzzle platformer. This is actually quite good. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, it's the Vita version got remastered for the Switch recently, so there's that. But this is pretty good. I actually borderline say it's probably worth picking up for the system. I have these just to have, so yeah, that is the Wii Fit and the Wii Fit Plus. Fucking shit. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Love this game. Me and Devil quite often do not agree that he thinks the PS2 version's better. I believe this version's better. But whether or not you agree with him or me, this game is a must-own for both those systems. One of the best Dragon Ball Z games ever made. Even just one of the best fighting games in general. And it's got so much characters in it, it's unbelievable. It's pretty damn impressive, and it's worth having. We have Budokai Tenkaichi 2. First one ever got released to the Wii, so it's 2 and 3 you can get for a system. Sort of the same argument that I just made for 3. It's arguably better on the Wii in my opinion, but the PS2 version is just as good. Yeah, really good game. I still believe the second is very inferior to the third, but it's still worth having. A game that everyone's got on the system, that is Xenoblade Chronicles. Must own for the system. Everyone says it's the best RPG in the system. I disagree with that. But it is definitely one of the best games on the system for sure. It's getting remastered for Switch, so definitely check that out. Must own for the system for sure. Donkey Kong Country Returns. Fucking great game. There was a lot of speculation when it was announced that they wouldn't live up to what Rare did with their Donkey Kong Country games. They did a great job. I honestly believe they did a great job, and I think everyone else agrees with that anyway. But it's a must-have for the system. Wii Sports Resort. It's okay. It's like they tried to do the first, but didn't. That's really what it is. It's okay. Wii Sports Resort. great, must have for the system. All of these 5 mini games. Well, I don't like golf, but they're all great. So it's a must have for the system, and I think most people bought it for this game. So yeah. Naruto Clash of Ninja Revolution. Utterly fantastic game. I think this is one of the better Naruto games, and it's a shame that they never continued it on the Wii U and the Switch. So it's pretty bad considering I think this has got some of the best gameplay of the Naruto games. Graphically, it's really impressive, and its cast is pretty good. Could have been better, but it's pretty good. Whereas the Xbox got the 2 Ubisoft open world ones, the PlayStation got the Clash of Ninja, which became the not Clash of Ninja, Ultimate Ninja, which became the one that all the others got after that, and Nintendo had this. So this is a must-have for the system and a must-have for any Naruto fan. GoldenEye 007. I don't like this at all. I don't like the PS3 version either. I think this is just a shit shooter on both systems. Sorry, I just do. Call of Duty Black Ops. It's actually quite good on the Wii. I'm surprised, and I'm really impressed that they actually got the zombies into it, which I'm really happy they did. So yeah, this is actually pretty cool. It's worth checking out on the Wii. But yes, if you don't own a Wii, don't go out of your way to buy it just for Call of Duty. Like, just buy a PS3 or 360 or the PC version of these games for, the Call of Duties. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This is also in the same boat as Black Ops, where it's got all the content. Only difference is the graphics take a hit with this, and it's pretty embarrassing considering it looks worse than Modern Warfare does on the Wii, but it's still got all the content that the PS3 and 360 has, besides the DLC, of course. But yeah, it's impressive, but it's not worth owning on the Wii, to say the least. My next game, I'm going to say something pretty controversial. I think it's a must-own for the Wii, and a lot of people do not agree with that. That is Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop. I honestly believe this game is pretty good. Not as good as its Xbox 360 version and then its remix. I'll just refer to it as the 360 version. I still think this game did quite a lot really well. Yes, it's not as good as the 360 version, but I still think it's a must-own for the Wii, and it's one of the Wii's better games. But yes, it's not as good as the 360 version. I do agree with that. Next is Okami, one of the best games ever made. Yeah, it's amazing. Simple as that. It's a must-have. Pokemon Battle Revolution. It's essentially Diamond and Pearl's Pokemon Stadium, so it's pretty cool. Graphically, it's really good for a Wii game. In fact, it looks as good as a 360 game, and it's pretty impressive. And also, if you just import your characters, your Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl, you can break the game entirely and just steamroll the entire fucking game, like I did. But it's very, very good. It's worth having for the Wii. It's a must-own, and it looks better than the upcoming one for the Switch, so that's quite ironic considering the generation leaps between the two of them. So yeah, must-have for the system. Used to love playing that in the Wii, by the way. Used to have really broken fucking classes on that, like, fuck. Anyway, Pandora's Tower. I don't have the other game, Last Story, but I do have this, of course. I don't think this is a very good game. It's decent, but it's nothing to write home about. It's nowhere near as good as Xenoblade. Like, Xenoblade was fucking great for the Wii. This isn't. Yeah. It's definitely still probably worth having, because it's going to be one of the Wii's hardest games to get, of course. And the last for this batch, before I do what I did, what I paused and all that there, that is Rayman TV, or Rayman Rabbids TV Party. This is the last one I played, and I don't think it's all that great, to be honest, considering the first two were great, but yeah. So I'll move on. I'll see you in a sec, guys. And we're back. So we have Super Mario Galaxy 2. I believe this is extremely overrated. It should not have got perfect scores. just for the sheer fact that it's fucking DLC. But yeah, it's probably still a must-have, I suppose. But yeah. Galaxy 1. This, on the other hand, is definitely worth its praise. It's fucking great. It's probably... This and Mario 64 are the best 3D Mario games by far. Must have for the system. Definitely a must have. Yeah, it's great. Super Mario Brothers Wii. It's good, but I think it was very overrated when it came out. I don't think it's all that great. Never liked the sequel for the Wii U either. And I do not have the Anniversary Collection, which was 1, 2, and 3 in Super Mario World. I never got that. It's very hard to get. But anyway. Ghost Recon for the Wii. Must have for the system. This is a game that Devil was asking about. I said to him, this is probably probably one of the most interesting games for the system. It's a third-person Unreal shooter cover game. So think of your House of the Dead, but in third person, and you have to take cover to, you know, fucking survive, and you can control your squad. So I really do like that. I think it's also one of the better looking games, but IGN wouldn't agree with that. They think it doesn't suit Ghost Recon. So the quote the guy said in the video was, so I'll zoom in there, that's the Recon soldiers, right? That looks nothing like Ghost Recon, yet they would go on to say Wildlands is good. That looks nothing like Ghost Recon. The upcoming one looks nothing like Ghost Recon. And at the time this came out, it looks like Ghost Recon. In fact, this came out before... Yeah, this came out just after Advanced Warfare... not Advanced Warfare, Advanced Warfighter 2. That looks like Advanced Warfighter 2 in my opinion. So, fuck IGN. But yeah, there's the gameplay in the background if you can see that. It's a must-have for the system, definitely. Sorry for going on, but I'm going to go on a bit here as well because I got a nice little story for this one. Devil knows what I'm going to talk about when he sees it. Far Cry Vengeance. This is fucking terrible. The worst shooter on the Wii, but we had a really funny encounter with this. A friend of ours owned it on the Wii, and I had just got my PS3 and I was playing the likes of Resistance Fall of Man, and a friend of mine was like, oh, Far Cry's on Wii, and we're just like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, Far Cry's quite a technical game. So we went around to his house, we watched him play it, and we're just like, this is fucking terrible. He goes, no, it's good. He was like justifying the purchase more or less, and Devil goes, can I play it? He goes, yeah. So he hands Devil the controllers, and Devil's trying to, you know, like, fucking control it, because the game plays like shit, by the way. Devil pressed the wrong button, and grenade launched a door, and the game crashed. And we went into a fit of laughter. He stuck the game back on. Like, he reset the console and stuck the game back on. He grenade launched the door again, and it crashed. So, yeah, we refer to this game as the console crasher because it did it twice in the same area on the same door. So yeah, this is a fucking terrible game. Do not play it on the Wii at all. Do not play it in general. It's horrendous. That's the best way of putting it. But I thought I'd share that little story with you. Call of Duty 3. I actually like this game. I first experienced Call of Duty 3 on the Wii before I bought the PS3 version. Despite the horrendous not motion controls, the mini-game motion controls. I honestly thought it was great. It had a bit of frame rate issues, but I thought it was enjoyable for the Wii, and then I got the PS3 version. The PS3 version is the superior version to play over this, so yeah, it's not worth playing if you own the PS3 or 360, but it's worth checking out nonetheless. Call of Duty World at War. It's not worth playing on the Wii at all. It's missing zombies. Its multiplayer's hacked the fuck, just like the console versions are now. It frame rates like shit and looks like shit for the Wii. Like, it actually looks worse than other Call of Duties, which it should not on the Wii. It's not worth playing on the Wii at all. avoid that version and just play the other versions of it. Tatsunoko versus Capcom, really, really good fighting game. I would probably say it's the best fighting game on the Wii, maybe? Like, proper fighting game, I mean. Also, it's the very first time Frank West was usable outside of a Dead Rising game, even though if he did look like Nico Bellic, which we would never let that down. But, utterly fantastic game. Must own for the system as well. WarioWare Smooth Moves, must have on the system. Utterly great. It's just mini games, but takes the piss out of the player. Absolutely worth having. Metroid LRM. Now, despite the horrendous story, the bastardization of Samus, I still think the gameplay is good and the graphics are really good for the Wii. That's about it. The rest of the game is fucking shit, but give or take, everyone knows the story behind this game. So yeah, I do not own Metroid Trilogy or Corruption 3 on its own, as I stupidly got rid of them a long time ago and now I can't find them. So, but I have played the trilogy. So yeah. So next we have Super Paper Mario. Haven't played it, so I can't say. I'm not that big a fan of the Paper Mario series. And also I don't own the Mario Party games. I don't like them at all. But anyway. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This, as I said, Tatsunoko is the best fighting game because it's a proper fighting game as such. I don't like. This is technically a fighting game as such, but I would more or less say it's a beat 'em up kind of thing. But this is fucking phenomenal. This is my favorite Smash Brothers game. This is a must own for the system. Like this and one other game that will be coming up are the two games you must own on this system at all costs. Galaxy 1 as well as another one. But yeah, fantastic. Must have. Mario Strikers Charge Football. It's okay. It's nothing to write home about as such. It's a football game. That's what it is. Set in the Mario universe. Medal of Honor Heroes 2. This is a sequel to the PSP exclusive Heroes 1. This is in terms of gameplay, the best shooter on the Wii. It plays the best. You play the normal game through normally, like, you know, first person normal shooter, but you can also play it on rails if you want to, so you've got the optional choice, but it plays so well on both versions you don't really have to, you know, be stuck of what version you want to play. Like, you can be like, both versions play really good, what version will I play? Yeah, one of the best games on the Wii, must own. Vanguard, I have this on PS2 as well. Great game, plays good and looks good on the Wii as well. So that's also a must-have. Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. This game gets a lot of bashing, I know I've noticed a lot. This is Resident Evil 0, 1, and 3 on rails, essentially. It's great, but it's not perfect either. There's other on-rail shooter games on the Wii that's far better than this, but I still think this game is good. A lot of people do bag it a lot, but I don't think it's deserving of that. It's not a must-have, but it's worth checking out. Now, the sequel, Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles, I believe is a must-have for the Wii. It's a sequel, essentially, to... not a sequel, but, like, different thing... Like, different, like... I want to say a sequel, but... a spin-off to Resident Evil 2 and 4 with Leon, essentially. It's utterly fantastic. It's the best on-rails shooter outside of one other game on this system, which I will get to. I believe it's graphically a technical marvel for the Wii as well. Capcom should be proud of that. It's really good and a must-have for the system. Once again, I'll be back in a sec. I'll get the other pile. See you in a sec, guys. Welcome back. So, moving on, we have Bleach Shattered Blade. why, like, why this game gets, like, completely ripped on, I do not know. I think it's the best Bleach game. Yes, I know it's not saying much considering most Bleach games are fucking terrible, but, it's genuinely a very good fighting game. Looks good, plays good, one of the best games on the Wii in my opinion, and I had a lot of fun playing this, I really did. Yeah, must have in my opinion. Oh boy, I don't like this game. Skycrawlers, Innocent Aces. This is done by the Ace Combat series, by the way. The Ace Combat developers. This isn't a very good game in my opinion. It's based off the anime / movie. It's an air combat game. I just don't think it's all that great. I honestly just do not like this at all. Monster 4x4 World Circuit. This is actually quite a good racing game on the Wii. I actually would recommend this. It's really fun. It's a launch title, I believe. Yes, it is. It's actually really good. I would recommend picking this up for the system. It's a must-have. Wii Music. It's fucking terrible. It's the worst game on the system by far. Anyway, now I was saying about the Resident Evil games that they are, you know, the second one in particular, that it was maybe the second best on-rail shooter. Well, this is the best on-rail shooter. The House of the Dead Overkill. This is the best on-rail shooter game ever made in my opinion, and it's fucking fantastic. It's a really good game. Unfortunately, we'll never get a game like this ever again because of the social justice fucking shit going on nowadays. Something like this would offend them and it would get banned outright. So, yeah. It's a pity. One of the best games on the way and a must-have. And I would really, really like Sega to release the newest one to the West. Why am I doing that? Just make sure that I don't fucking forget. Anyway. Next we have Heat Seeker, a game that I've played on the PS2, and I actually own it. I completed it on the Wii, never finished it off on the PS2 is what I meant to say. It's a arcadic flight game. It's actually not bad. It's pretty cool. It's worth checking out. It's not a must-have, but it's worth checking out. You can get it for next to nothing anyway. Sonic and the Secret Rings, I'm going to be honest, I don't think this game is all that bad. I actually quite enjoy it. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's as bad as people have made it out to be in the, you know, nowadays especially. It's actually not bad. It's not a must-have, but it's definitely check it out kind of thing. Resident Evil 1. It's remastered that many fucking times, you know. Yeah. It's honestly just buy the PS4 version and Xbox One version and PC, you know, all that there, but yeah, it's worth having in the collection, I suppose, so yeah. It's a direct port of the GameCube version, so yeah. Knight's Journeys into Dream. This is a sequel, I believe. I can't remember. It's like this was one of the first games on the system I played. But I believe this is actually a sequel to the Saturn Journey Knights game, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's worth checking out. It's not a must-have, but it's worth checking out. The original The Blob. I actually think this is a really good game. I haven't played the PS4 version, but I enjoyed the Wii version. I think it's colourful, it's fun, you know, exactly what a platformer should be. So yeah, this is actually, I would argue, a must-have on the Wii. This game gets fucking bashed a lot. That is Dragon Quest Swords, the Masked Queen and the Tower of Mirrors. People say it's the worst Dragon Quest game. I wouldn't say it's the worst. It's bad in terms of it's not a traditional game in the series that it should be. I still think it's pretty good to it's not terrible. It's just that it's not as good as what it should be. It's a first-person RPG. But it's very light on its RPG elements, so yeah. I reckon it's worth having, but it does deserve a lot of its hate, but I still think it's a must-have for the system. It's not as terrible as people have made it out to be. Actually, I'll leave that till later, because... I'll leave it till next, should I say, because I knew I had the first one somewhere. That is... Red Steel. Red Steel is fucking terrible. We got this when it launched. Me and Devil played it. We took a piss out of it. We hated it. And we just thought, this is fucking terrible. Not as bad as Far Cry, but it's still terrible. Never again did we play it. Like, it's a fucking terrible game. So years and years and years later, I knew there was a sequel, and I thought, let's try the sequel. I mean, it can't be any worse than any worse than the first. Bound to be a pretty decent game nonetheless. So I played the sequel. Sequel's fucking fantastic. I mean, like, holy shit, this is like a totally different game to this. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's different developers that did these. This is essentially where Red Steel 1 was a Chinese triad kind of fucking shit. This is a Chinese mixture of, the martial arts, swords, but set in like Wild West. That was really cool, and it's actually fucking great. Great boss fights, all that there. This is a must-have on the system as well. It's actually one of the best shooters on the system, and it's actually one of the best games that Ubisoft's ever done, actually, to be completely honest with you. Surprised we never got a third on the Wii U or the Switch, but who knows, maybe we will one day. But Red Steel 2 is a must-have. Back to the actual games. We have Brothers in Arms, Earned in Blood. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't work half the time in terms of like the commands with the controls, but it's pretty good. It's not as bad as some of the Call of Duties on the Wii, but it's still pretty good. It's worth checking out. Tenchu Shadow Assassin. Never played it. Don't know what it's like. Sonic Colors. One of the best Sonic games on the Wii. One of the best Sonic games on the Wii. It fucking is the best on the Wii. One of the best Sonic games of that generation, I meant to say. It's the best Sonic game on the Wii for sure. I'd actually say it's probably the second best Sonic game of the generation. Like, proper Sonic, like, not the spin-offs. Like, Generations is better than this, but this is very good, and it's almost as good as Generations, so must own for the Wii, definitely. And it's actually regarded as one of the best Sonic games anyway. Sonic and the Black Knight. I actually think this game's okay. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's worth one playthrough at least. I mean, yeah. But, yeah, it's worth checking out. And the last for this pile, one of the worst games on the system. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. I believe this is a port of the Xbox Kinect one, which was fucking horrendous. This game does not work at all on my Wii. And that's not me saying sticking the disc in and the disc not reading. No, I can play the game. It just doesn't work. The controls are fucked. They're shit. So, this is fucking terrible. One of the worst games on the system as well, and I'd argue one of the worst Sonic games ever made. So, yeah. I'll be back in a sec to do the last pile, thank God. So, see you in a sec, guys. Welcome to the last lot. Sorry this has been a long video, but it's easier for me to do this because I had to take the stuff off the shelf. So anyway, Devil asked about this because we were talking about games on the Wii not too long ago. Ghost Squads. That's actually quite a good game, to be honest. I actually think this is one of the better on-rail shooter for the system as well. Like, the Wii had great on-rail shooters, but this is one of the better ones, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, I wouldn't say must-have, but I'd say it's worth checking out. Oh yeah, here we go. Wii Play. Now, the reason this did really well is because it came with a Wii Remote. For anyone that doesn't know, when this game launched, it came with a Wii Remote. It was bundled with a Wii Remote, hence why it fucking sold so much. It was a cheaper way of alternatively getting the Wii remote. As for the actual thing, it's shit. It's one of the worst games on the system as well. Mad World, one of the better games on the system in my opinion. It's very short though, unfortunately, but I honestly believe this is one of the best games on it, and it's a must, definitely a must own on the system. Forgot I had this. Just Dance. I bought this. This was the very first one. I bought it just to fucking see what it was like. It's your typical dance game with music, so yeah. It's nothing to write home about. Kirby's Epic Yarn, one of the best platformers ever made. Must have for the system. Highly recommend it. I do not own the other Kirby game on the Wii, as it's quite hard to get. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, that's it. Crystal Chronicles, the Crystal Bearers. Fucking such a name. I honestly believe this is the best RPG on the system. Yeah, I really do. I love the characters, I love the music, I love the world. I honestly think this game gets ripped on something shocking and never gets mentioned. I believe this was the last Crystal Chronicles game. I know there is one coming for the Switch, but it's a remake, so I hope they do make another one like this in the future, but I really do like this game. It's a must-have for the system. Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo Dungeon. Yeah, not as good as Crystal Bearers. I actually think it's still a great game, and it's a must-own. It's really good. But as I said, I think that is definitely... The Crystal Bearers should be your first priority out of the Final Fantasy games on the Wii. Samba de Amigo. Really good game. I like the music, and you can actually unlock Sonic, which is quite fucking funny. Yeah, I'd actually, honestly, believe it or not, I'd say it's a must-own for the system. Sniper Elite. I own the PS. I own the PC version. I think it's better than this version. This version's just... Why it got it on the Wii, I do not know. But, yeah. I mean, it's worth having as something to have on the system to collect. So, yeah. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Does a lot of things right, but I don't think it's a great Mortal Kombat. It's not one of the better ones, in my opinion. I like that you create your own characters, you create your own fatalities and stuff like that there, which was never brought back for the series because, you know, that would be too fucking hard for them, apparently. And also Chameleon was exclusive to the Wii, which I don't know why he was exclusive to the Wii, but what can you do? It has the largest roster of any Mortal Kombat game to date. It's worth having for the fact you can create your own character and fatality, sorry. But it's not a good Mortal Kombat game in terms of combat. I honestly believe it is the worst of that era of Mortal Kombat. Besides the spin-offs, I'm talking like Deadly Alliance, you know, Deception and stuff like that there. But yeah, it's also on PS2. Link's Crossbow Training. Honestly, it's okay. It's something to unwind to. It's not terrible. It's not great. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Must own for the system. It's fucking great. It's... A lot of people say the GameCube version's better. I disagree. I think this version is better. But we can all agree it's better than this. We can all agree both versions are better than the Wii U version. But yeah, must have for any Nintendo Wii fan or any like person that wants to buy a Wii. This needs to be the first game you buy on it. That and Super Smash Brothers. So a game that I've bagged on a lot in the past, and Devil has as well. That is Skyward Sword. Honestly, it's not as bad as I've made it out to be. It's a lot better than Breath of the Wild, but it's not saying much because Breath of the Wild's fucking shit. But Skyward Sword still, I'd say it's a must-own for the Wii because it is a Zelda game, and it is still a somewhat enjoyable game despite some of the problems with it. But yeah, must have. Need for Speed Nitro. I actually do like this. I like the fact that you can draw on the car and draw what you want. I think that should actually come to the other Need for Speed games. But yeah, I actually think it's actually quite a good game. It's worth checking out at least. The Conduit, I'd honestly say it's the best shooter on the Wii, maybe. That and Red Steel, anyway. This is a fucking great game. It's very, very impressive to look at for the Wii. In fact, it sometimes looks as good as a launch title for the PS3 and 360 kind of thing. It's very impressive, and it's a must-have for the system. Conduit 2, I have not played it. I can't say if it's any good or not, but I've not played it. I've heard it's amazing. Donkey Kong Jet Race, I think this is terrible. It's very unresponsive for me, and I just don't like it at all. I believe this is probably the worst. I'd say it's Nintendo's worst first-party game on the Wii. At least I think it is, anyway. Down to the last three. Zack and Wiki Quest for the Barbaros Treasure. I have not played it. I can't. I think this was not a launch title, but very early Wii game. So I haven't played it, so yeah. Down to the last two. We have GT Pro Street. This is essentially a cel-shaded racing game. It's okay. It's okay if you're a hardcore racing fan, you want to play around with the actual licensed vehicles. So it does have licensed vehicles, so yeah, and it's also cel shaded as I said, so there's that, but it's nothing to write home about. And finally, we have Dead Space Extraction. What a great game. One of the better on-rail shooters we've got. I think it's fucking great. To me, there's only 3 good Dead Space games. 1, this, and 2. So yeah, this is a must-own for the Wii as well. It's also on PS3, but I would suggest getting this version instead. But do what you want kind of thing, but I think this is the better version. So that is all my Wii games. As I said, I'm missing the Metroid trilogy and Corruption, because Corruption was released separately. Had them before, got rid of them. Missing The Last Story, never got it. It's a very hard game to get. I'm missing other games, of course, that I should have or have probably had in the past. If there's any Wii game that you could recommend, let me know and I'll try and find it if I can. But as I said, I'm actually quite proud of my Wii collection. I think it's actually really good. I think there's quite a lot of good games worth having on that system. The system doesn't deserve all the hate it's been getting, throughout the years, but yeah. So anyhow, sorry I haven't done a video in a while. As I said, I'll try and get back on track hopefully, and thanks for watching. Let us know if you want to see another video. I could do a PS2 video, but it'd be quite long. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you stay tuned for some more videos we do. This is PvT-Mitten's. Take care, guys, and see you later. Bye.